pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public participation. If you'd like to speak to the council, please fill out a form and hand it to Shannon. Please indicate on the form if you wish to speak during a discussion on a specific agenda item. Remember, council members are not allowed to answer questions during the public participation, and please state your name and address for the record for all you. Proclamation. Whereas 2023 marks the 50th anniversary of the town of Bartonville, Texas, and whereas the town of Bartonville grew out of early post-Texas Revolution settlements in Denton County, Denton Creek, which split into the Loving Branch and the Sharps Branch, provided fresh water to the town. Early subsistence farmers found fertile sandy soil for their crops, which included peanuts, wheat, corn, cotton, and barley. Whereas in 1881, two brothers, Bentley and James Barton, purchased 10 acres near the southeast corner of the A.R. Loving survey, situated along the old wagon trail, which is FM 407, and the crossroad between Denton, Grapevine, Louisville. The site proved to be a valuable center of commerce. Whereas the town was first known as Barton's Mill, then changed to Bartonville by 1883. The community grew with the help of founding families Breeding, Broom, Jeter, and McMakin. Whereas in 1960, to prevent annexation by the city of Irving, Bartonville residents voted to incorporate the town. The borders of the newly incorporated town made it the largest in the county, with nearly 30 square miles, which included present Double Oak and Copper Canyon. Whereas in 1964, Bartonville was disincorporated, and in 1973, a smaller geographic town was reincorporated. Whereas a special celebration has been planned to celebrate the occasion of this anniversary. Now, therefore, I, Jackman Carrington, Mayor of Town of Bartonville, Texas, and on behalf of the Town Council, do hereby proclaim Saturday, October 28th, 2023 as Town of Bartonville Golden Anniversary in the town of Bartonville, and urge all citizens to join me in the celebration of the town of Bartonville's Golden Anniversary. Next Saturday, everyone.
Yes. Well done.
Cool. Thank you. Appointed representative liaison report. Upper Trinity, is there a video or just?
Regional Water District, constructing the newest lake in North Texas and one of the largest lakes to be built in the state for more than 30 years. Lake Drought Hall is located on the North Silver River in southeast Bannon County, near the city of Philadelphia.
The Upper Trinity Regional Water District provides water service and wastewater service to Denton County and a portion of Cobb County. We serve 29 communities currently, and our population is expected to grow fivefold over the next 50 years. To prevent a water shortage, we need a new water supply, and we need it soon, as early as the mid-20s. Lake Hall is critical and will need that need in a timely, efficient, and cost-effective manner.
Similar in size to Grapevine Lake, Lake Drought Hall will store up to 180,000 acre-feet of water, or about 59 billion gallons. It will be able to deliver up to 54 million gallons of water every year.
What about one big name congressman? And he also said you need a big partner to be able to make this happen. And that's when we get involved.
The project groundbreaking was in June of 2021. Since then, progress has been made on the Leon Arch Dam and the North Sulphur River Bridge, open to keep traffic from beyond. The relocated FM 50 roadway, Merrill Creek Bridge, will also be open to traffic later this year. And here we are today at the Leon Arch Dam, the construction side of this, where we have building and bank right behind me. We have also cleared almost 95% of the dam site. And most of the area east of State Highway 34. They're planting material dirt from the embankment that will eventually make the dam embankment. They're rolling it in and compacting it to make sure that the clay is compacted well enough to be impermeable. The dam is approximately 2 miles long, and its peak is going to be about 90 feet. The contractor currently has over 200 people on site working to place about 5 acres north of dirt and approximately 600,000 yards of concrete. We have completed design of the pump station and pipeline conveyance. The next step is to construct the pipeline and pump station itself. All 32 miles of pipeline are being manufactured by American Fireway Pipe of Paris, Texas, supporting the local economy. Design, the administration, and maintenance facilities are also underway.
In anticipation of fishing opportunities, existing ponds in the future Lake Hall footprint have been stocked with large amount of bass by the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department's Share Lunker program. Construction crews are also strategically leaving cut timber for fish habitat as they near the future lake's footprint. Opportunity will also be constructing a jetty to provide greater access to fishing opportunities in the lake.
Well, the construction and design moving forward as scheduled, we should be delivering water by 2026.
That was provided by Del Noller. He said he wanted y'all to be able to see that video as part of this meeting, and he said that way he wasn't going to talk this time.
Thank you, Thad. Denton County Emergency Service District 1, Chief Funk.
Mayor, Council, first of all, I'd like to just say thank you for hosting our first town hall meeting about the upcoming election. I think it was a great event. We got to basically just kind of educate the public and answer questions and address concerns. And so thank you for allowing that, and thank you for helping to put that together. Thank the mayor for
Sure.
who worked to make that happen. So other than that, we're in a new fiscal year, so I'm excited about the new fiscal year, kind of looking in the past in our rearview mirror, looking forward. And so we did end the year with a balanced budget. We kind of squeaked by, but we're able to what I call living on soup and beans, just kind of cutting costs, kicking cans down the road. But we did manage to get by through the new year. In the new year, we do have what I call a quasi balanced budget. It's balanced, but we're also using some line of credit as a short-term means to kind of make sure we have a balanced fiscal year. That's our short-term plans. As you know, we're working on the election, and we're just trying to be as visible and as transparent and just being out in the public and answering questions. And be honest with you, this is the voters. The voters need to decide. This is what they need to do, and it's a democratic process, and we're looking forward to the outcome. A couple of the questions I get asked the most is one is just about the past, and I tell them, no, it's absolutely not. We've been working hard. I know I've been coming to these meetings for several months, talking about all the things we're doing, a forensic audit, make sure we make the firefighters whole. But I'm happy to tell you that on September 21st, just a couple of weeks ago, all the firefighters were made whole on their retirement account. So they've been paid to the tune of about $432,000. But all those accounts have been restored, including interest earned. And so that's been paid. So that passed. It's a huge chapter. Of all the things we've accomplished, that's probably the thing I'm most proud of, to be able to get that done. So the past to pass, we're looking forward, and I'm happy to say that we've done that. We've also had another great win. We were awarded a FEMA Safer Grant, which will allow us to hire 9 firefighters. That's going to be huge. We applied for that. Probably I'd been here maybe a few months, 3 months, and I think it was in March of last year. And really, it was kind of the odds are it's a very competitive grant across the country. And the fact that we work together, we're able to put that together and get it and receive it is amazing. It's basically, it's something we're going to have to pay for, but it does give you like 3 years worth of funding for the salaries. And so we will have to, pay for it eventually, but it helps us jumpstart some of our staffing issues that we had because we were below national standards of what we should be. So, but I'm excited about that. But other than that, I'm just glad to be here. I'm willing to answer any question you might have.
Don't have any questions about the propositions or anything in case any residents ask? Everyone knows they have to go to the fire station to vote.
It's probably the biggest thing that the thing I really want to educate people on is that this is a special election. As you recall, when I told you about we were doing a special election that kind of saved us about $15,000-$20,000 by hosting it ourselves, not having to go to some other place, not having to pay poll workers to do that. We're doing it all based on volunteer basis. So it saved us some money. But that's probably the number one thing I want to be clear and make sure our citizens know is that it is a special election and you can only vote on this at the fire station. So for early election, which is from October 23rd through November 3rd, the voting for early election is at Station 511, which is at 407 in South Givens Road. For election day, it will be any of the three stations based on your precinct to where you live. So I believe Bartonville will mostly be station 511, I believe. Yeah. So if they citizens are most like for an election day, it'll be station 511. So it is exact same hours as the other polling places, but just know you can't go there to vote for our measure and you can't go to ours and vote for theirs. It's just the way it's designed. So, but that's probably the number one message that it is a 50% plus one outcome. So Bartonville votes on the Lantan issue and vice versa. And so it has to be a 50 plus one on both sides of that. So, but the main thing is just the station, understand that you have to vote at the station. So any other questions?
You have plans of being mass media, I think it's really important. Citizens out here to know that it's the MS is going to be separate. And if they want to increase response time, and it's all about safety to the citizens, if somehow or another we can continue to get that information out, instead of it just being another election, to let them know how important it is. It's going to affect anyone in their family or a member of their family or neighbor. If there isn't services out there, that it's about safety. And I think if we can get the word out and keep that word in front of the public before the election, to let them know how important it is, because it is a safety issue.
We've been very proactive. I think every night I'm somewhere. I just came from Lantana Water District 6 and 7. Last night I was in Argyle, did North Lake the week before that. So we're community events every weekend. We're just trying to, I want to get out and meet the people and talk one-on-one, but we are doing some social media stuff. The Firefighter Association President Sam Johnson, he's here. He can advocate where I can't. I mean, I'm not allowed, I can educate, but he can actually advocate. What we're doing, they're putting out signs. You're going to see that along some of the major thoroughfares. You'll see some signage and they're doing handouts and things like that. So they can do that, whereas I can't. But again, this is we're going to survive one way or the other. I mean, if you look at everything we've been through over the last year, we're going to adapt and overcome. It's just going to be what the level of service is going to look like, depending on the outcome of the election. So I think it's right that the citizens decide this. I think this is a voter's decision to make, and I think we'll make it work either way. So.
Y'all seen Sam put the signs out
Did you
a
want,
couple days
did you want
ago.
to speak for a
Did
moment?
y'all see the ESD signs out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let,
About signs today.
if you don't mind, if Sam can come up, he can actually speak on what the PAC's doing and talk about, is that okay?
Sure.
Hey, Chief, I have one question. for
Yes,
you.
sir.
We have our usual polling places. Are you thinking about putting out signage saying, hey, if you want to vote on the ESD 2, you need to go here? Put those at the usual polling places.
I'll let him talk about that because there is some strategy on some of that
Okay,
stuff. Yeah.
all
I'm here to educate. I'm not advocating.
I hear you.
Evening, Council, Mayor, thank you. So yes, we are putting out the signs and all the areas that we are finding available to us, trying to learn the rules and regulations on where we can and cannot put them. To the polling places of the general items, we're working through either putting some signs together or having someone there to direct during early voting. Like, if you want to vote on our stuff, here's where you go and here's how you do that. But we do have an event tomorrow evening at the Lantana Golf Course for all citizens in the ESD who want to join, that can come and do a Q&A and help us pass that word along. We do have as well some social media that's being pushed out that'll be more available as early voting starts. My understanding of that is a little bit of timing. I have a consultant that's working with me to teach me some of this stuff. I'm learning this stuff at a kind of light speed, but the social media is going to step up. We're going to be seeing more advocation for that on Facebook, Instagram, all the fun sites. And then personally, my Facebook page is covered with it. We're in all the local town Facebook pages as well. So if you want to take a look at that, it'll be available. But I do have handouts now with all the basic information. So if you want to see them, I can leave some, pass them out, whatever you'd like. This gives all the exact information on how, when, and where to vote and what's important. The big item that we're finding is helping Lantana understand that they have 3 propositions where everybody else has 2. If you're outside of Lantana, it's pretty straightforward. for the creation of ESD2 and for the annexation of Lantana. If you're in Lantana, they have to understand that there's debt with the business. They have to acknowledge that debt and understand that the areas of Lantana, should they ever choose to leave, just like anybody else, would be responsible for that debt assessed. But the cards have all the basic information. My anxiety at night is mail-in ballots. Those are the individuals that we're not able to necessarily identify and get in front of. Sometimes we're seeing them, sometimes we don't. But the most important item is, if you can vote, you want to vote and you want to come out and support us, early voting is the easiest way to do it. But if you have any questions about anything we're doing, I'd be happy to answer. I know y'all seen us quite a few times, so, but thank you.
Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Police Chief report, Sergeant Scudder.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. So in y'all's packet, I don't know if y'all looked, but I've changed y'all's previous packets, kind of how they're looking. So now we've got the past 3 years, month by month. It's kind of mirrored to the ESD one. Thank you to them. I kind of hacked their stuff and changed it around a little bit, but there's a little bit more information now. So we've got more stats for month by month and year by year instead of just a bunch of bar graphs.
So I like to be able to see the trends. It really
Yeah.
puts things in perspective for
Yeah,
us.
it really does.
Yeah, it's a
Very
lot more
helpful.
meaningful.
Okay.
So thank you.
So if there's any questions on any of those, if you want to look through those. Then just miscellaneous information, upcoming stuff. We had this month we had the community outreach event for National Night Out, which I think was pretty successful for what we did. Hopefully next year we'll put some more signage out and stuff like that and hopefully get some more businesses involved. And then we did an outreach event at the Christian Academy over here at Lantana Church, let the kids play on the cars. Some updates. We replaced all of our taser batteries. So now we've got the newer batteries that turn off automatically after 5 seconds. So those are always good to have. Got the new Tahoe ordered that we were budgeted for. So hopefully, I was told February or March, hopefully. So we're hoping that actually comes in. We're going with
Please
the vendor.
cross your fingers on that one.
Yes, yeah, that's why I was like, knock on some wood if you got it. So
Through Defender?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going through Defender and it's they just got the 2024s released. So because that was kind of the hiccup for a little bit because 2024 and 2023, all the 2023 orders were already completed. So Chevy actually just released the 2024s. So hopefully we could get it by February or March. That's the plan at least. So then we met with the traffic committee not the traffic committee, the event committee, sorry. And we have a traffic plan for the 50th. So we were talking with Mr. Van Alstine. We're gonna set it up to where we're gonna have an officer at each end of Jeter so we can shut it down. And then that way it's controlled by us and not just a bunch of barricades and stuff. We started our Blue Santa event where we're gonna start accepting applications for families so we can kind of get a estimate on how many families we're gonna have this year. And then here in a couple of weeks, we'll assess that and go through and see when we're gonna start releasing for like donations and stuff like that. That's pretty much it for what we've got. And then just the officers and myself wanted to thank you guys for our benefits and everything that y'all worked on last month. So I've been hearing nothing but positive things from them. So they want to extend their thanks to that. So thank you.
Thank you for all the hard work that y'all do and the
Yeah,
great service
absolutely.
you provide.
Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. So if y'all,
And I like the new graphics.
Yeah.
So
I do
as Okay.
well, yeah, well done.
I feel like it's a little bit easier and I got it by the service type and stuff with numbers so we can get it clearer. And so if there's anything else y'all want to change or add or see more of, just let me know. We can see what we can play with graphs or what do we need to do. Any questions or anything?
I'd like to commend Sergeant Scudder as well. When we met about the report, the monthly report y'all had been getting, I had discussed the requests previously for some trending analysis, and he immediately went out and looked for resources from other agencies as well to give you what you were looking for. So again, I think ESD for their assistance as well, but Sergeant Scudder got right on it and he understood the importance of giving y'all that information.
It is helpful to see it's helpful to see the trends.
Yeah, it's
So we know what
pretty
you're dealing
interesting
with.
too, if you look at it, because there's some months where you're like, man, we're skyrocketing. There's some months where you're like, okay, I guess not. So it's just kind of interesting to see that, how it works and the seasons and all that. It's kind of funny to see. But any questions or anything for anything? Nope. Okay.
Thank you for all you do.
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Thank you guys.
Jordan.
Town Administrator Monthly Report, September 2023.
Way those reports came out in your packet, if you'll look at the ones printed out, it looks like it got cut off when it was, the PDF was entered. So if you look on your iPad, you may not have all the information. So if you'll look at the printed copy, please, that'll make it a lot easier. We are at 100% of budget. Last year, I think I even skipped September's financials when we met in October because we are still closing out the fiscal year. So this is a preliminary. That's why it says it across the front. These numbers may change. As we go through the budget year, it really doesn't matter if it hits in June or July, it all evens out. But once we hit September and October, those expenses that occurred in that fiscal year in the 2022-23 need to be in that fiscal year. So we don't expect huge changes. But again, there may be a change on this that I'll bring to you next month, along with the first month of this fiscal year. So again, we are in our new fiscal year. If you look at our revenues, every single one of them exceed our projections. We're almost 400,000 over, actually 445,000 over our initial projections. That's the biggest piece there. We may see development fees in this coming fiscal year. I think I budgeted 0 again, but we have a development that is slowly working its way through. So we may see development fees again. That tends to be pretty substantial. So we may exceed again this year, but the economy is so weird. We know we have business cycles and we haven't seen it cycle like it normally does. So we're going to continue to be ultra conservative in our projections for revenues. And we're going to watch our expenditures like we always do, just in case something happens. Let's pray it doesn't, but eventually we're going to have a down cycle and it may be pretty severe. So do you have any questions on the revenues? Again, quite healthy. If you look at your next page, the sales tax collections, now that I've had over a year of looking at these little blips you're seeing, we have our quarterly tax payments. Some of our bigger ones pay quarterly. So that's what you're seeing here is you see a couple of months where it's kind of, you're not seeing the same revenue and then it bounces up. So you'll see the bounce up probably next month or two. And we'll be right back on track. I've looked at the 3-year analysis and it just constantly trends just slightly up. We're just going up a little bit each year as new businesses open, as sales taxes increase. Yeah, when you look at it on a 12-month, you can see the dips. If you extend it out, you can still see them, but you can tell they're just minor. And it's when we're not receiving those quarterly payments and then the big one hits. And then if you go to the page 4 in the handout packet, all general fund expenditures, transfers are higher than we anticipated. But again, that's always the Lantana grant. That means when our sales taxes and our liquor taxes are high, we're putting money into that account. So that's why that one comes out looking negative. But we do still have revenues. We're still positive as far as what we projected. We spent less than we projected for that. If you look at all general fund expenditures against all general fund revenues, I didn't pull this out, 441,000 is the difference. So until we balance out, we could grow your fund balance when the books are closed by around $400,000. So again, it was a healthy year and we were, I hate to say cheap, but we're frugal with all your dollars and your revenues are continuing to be strong. Expenditures by department. If you have any questions there, again, contracted services, we budgeted a little higher for this coming fiscal year, and we do have a new engineering firm, and as well as our planner. Those are going to be probably within budget this year or really close. We still had a section of our fiscal year that had the previous engineering firm, and we were really paying a lot per month for that service. Again, overall, 6% left in the budgets for administration. Some will have money left, some don't. We may have probably December, maybe November, a budget amendment come in to clean that up for audit. So it's all there. We haven't overspent on the whole, but again, per line item, we may be a little high. And then police department, again, same thing. We have about the same 6% overall in the budget left. Maintenance, again, that's the cars. That's why we increased our maintenance line item this coming fiscal year. That's just going to continue until we get this new vehicle in place and retire one of our older ones. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Mentioned we changed our engineering firm. How's that relationship going with you and our engineering firm?
It's going well. I can tell you, just contracting engineering, you got to write them.
Yeah.
It's just that you have to manage that relationship. We're one of the smaller contracts for them. So when we have something, I don't get a quick response, we call our engineer and start jumping up and down. So I think the service is better. I think it's more fiscally responsible where we are right now. But like all of our third-party consultants, sometimes I got to wave my hands a little bit to get them to jump
But
quickly.
an improvement over where we were.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Communication's better. It's
Okay.
better. It's better.
All right.
Do you have any questions?
It's my one and only.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Consent agenda. This agenda consists of non-controversial housekeeping items required by law. Items may be approved with a single motion. Items may be removed from the consent agenda by any council member by making such a request prior to the motion and vote on the consent agenda. Number one, consider approval of the September 19th, 2023 workshop and regular meeting minutes. Number two, consider approval of the fiscal year 2023-2024 interlocal cooperation agreement between Denton County and the Town of Bartonville Police Department for the use of the Denton County radio communication system, and authorize the town administrator to execute the same on behalf of the town. Do you have a motion?
Make a motion that we consider approval and approve the September 19th, 2023 workshop and regular meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Regular items. Number one, discuss and consider approval of a resolution establishing the Town of Bartonville, Texas Insurance Trust Fund, authorizing the trust agreement and appointing trustees for the town. Staff presentation, Rodney Dryden with the Hub International, town's insurance broker.
Mayor, Council, thank you for your time tonight. The Chapter 222 of the Texas Insurance Code allows for cities, counties, hospital districts to implement a single nonprofit trust. And kind of the idea behind it is the municipalities are not paying taxes on pens and paper. Why pay it on your insurance premium? So in our case, Blue Cross Blue Shield collects that premium and remits it to the state of Texas. The trust document itself really just gives Blue Cross Blue Shield the authority to remove those taxes from your premiums. And because you're a small employer in the state of Texas, they're not able to adjust your rates. What they do is once the BPA or the amendment is submitted along with the council resolution and the trust document, once those are submitted to Blue Cross, their compliance department approves those. And then once annually, Blue Cross will mail the town of Bartonville a check for the premium tax, which on a PPO plan is 1.75% of premium. And on an HMO plan, it's 0.75% of premium. So for the town of Bartonville, it's not a huge dollar amount. It's a couple $1,000s a year, but why pay it if you don't have to? And in order to do that, the only requirement that we have, and Blue Cross prefers this method, is that if the town council approves the resolution, we submit that. We submit an amendment to your plan, changing the name from Town of Bartonville to Town of Bartonville Employee Benefit Trust, or EBT. That is it. There is no requirement for the town to open a separate trust account with a bank or financial institution. In fact, Blue Cross, again, does not prefer that method for small employers. Certainly glad to answer any questions that you may have. Virtually all of our political subdivisions do this. We represent in the state of Texas about 600 political subdivisions.
As we were going through the process with Rodney and Keith, again, when this was brought up, it's It costs us basically nothing to do it, and it gets that revenue back in, that sales tax back to the town, and we just put it in back into the fund balance. So even if it's two or
We provided.
Mm-hmm.
How long has this been in effect?
You review the document?
No, I'm sorry.
No, I don't have any.
Okay.
This is a document that's been used for years. We were auditing accounts to make sure all of our clients had the trust document in place. And we recognized the town of Bartonville did not have one. So we brought it to Thad's attention, and here we are.
The risk, if any.
There is no risk. We're not creating an investment account. We're not creating a zero balance account or an account that retains any assets. You're paying this out of general fund, which is, I'm assuming, how you pay your premium now. And so the title of the document, of the plan document for the town, changing it from just Town of Bartonville to Town of Bartonville EBT, basically authorizes Blue Cross to return those tax dollars to you, which they have to pass audit with the state of Texas and the comptroller's office to do that. So the audit trail really is between the onus is on Blue Cross Blue Shield to prove that your documents are compliant. And this resolution and trust document is the same document that we use countless times on clients, and we've not had any trouble with it.
similar to when we purchase things, we have to provide a form that says we are a municipality tax exempt, because that business is responsible for collecting that sales tax if they don't have that. So they end up with that form in their books, so that when they don't show that we didn't pay the sales tax, there's a reason for it. So we are paying sales tax on the insurance premiums right now for the
Part of the
benefits.
complexity of it is on small group in the state of Texas, those rates are filed with the Texas Department of Insurance, and there's only one set of rates for public and private sector. And the only adjustment we can take is retroactive. Once it's been paid, then there's a refund, and it's the only way the state can administer it.
There's not really any downside to it. Other than, I mean,
Less money to the comptroller.
yeah, okay, for him. Okay.
So I understand is the town, we do not have to fund the trust fund, and the trust fund will have no assets.
There will not be a trust fund.
Okay, all right.
There's simply the adoption of the resolution, an amendment to the name that the town is contracted by. And that is it. We are not creating a banking arrangement.
Trustees for the town, didn't right?
In the document, it names trustees. We suggest by title, not by name.
How long has this option been available or in effect? And
I can't tell you exactly, some years, in the last decade.
how did we?
Speaking to the mic so people can hear you.
We were auditing our accounts to go through our client base that we have to make sure that documents were in order. We recognized that the town of Bartonville, we didn't have a document on file with us. And that's how we discovered, and we notified your town administrator that we didn't see one on file, and we brought it to his and Shannon's attention. And that's how we came to this point tonight. Yes, sir.
I didn't have enough knowledge this was definitely something that they brought. I saw the value there, but I did not have enough knowledge to know that we were paying sales tax on all that, and that it was possible to get it back. But
And it's much lower dollars, but we'll also do it for your dental.
yes, it-
Sure does.
I give it to the comptroller, right?
I like it.
we have local needs that we'd rather use that for.
Absolutely.
Nickels and dimes and dollar bills take care of themselves.
Fix that culvert down there.
That's old school.
For your time.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a motion?
I move that we approve a resolution establishing the town of Bartonville, Texas Insurance Trust Fund, authorizing the trust agreement and appointing trustees for the town.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Kelvin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Number 2, excuse me, discuss and consider recommendations from the traffic committee. We met about, I don't know, a month ago or something like that. Remove the rumble strip, which is Let me read all these and then I'll go back and talk about them for a minute. Remove one set of rumble strips, a no U-turn on FM 407 at IT Neely in front of Marty B's. Allowing a left turn from the center lane at McMakin and FM 407, and then East Jeter, West Jeter directional signs at Gibbons. And then speed limits in Deer Hollow, Eagle Ridge, and Hudson Hills. Trifecta was included in a previous ordinance, so that was already taken care of for the 25 over there. So the rumble strip removal is a southbound Porter and Broome. It's right there by Jim Lieber's windows. So we're talking about removing that one set.
Look at page 62. It shows how close those rumble strips are.
Yeah, they're 50 feet. Yeah.
It's only the southbound.
Just the
strips.
southbound. Again, they're not required. We just had it there for, the added benefit of the new stop signs,
Used to it.
Yeah.
and people are used to it, but we also
I
have
got
a
no problem
resident
with
who's
that.
not.
There's a pretty long runway of seeing that sign, so.
Mhm.
Yes, it's unlike the one down at Rockgate. It's
Right.
Next one's just a no U-turn at FM 407. I was talking to Sergeant. And there's been a number of wrecks there where people are turning, they're making U-turns in front of Marty B's. And anyway, that's a text dot. We can recommend a text dot. They'll have to approve that and do that. Left turn up right up here on McMakin. So there's one left turn lane onto 407. It backs way up at night there. If you've ever been there, we're going to try to see if we can make that middle lane left turn also. So you have dual left turn there.
Text dot as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Isn't it? Is that text dot?
Yes, that is text dot. Again, there may be some time spent with the town engineer having a discussion. I'll initiate, but again, council support of that makes it a lot easier. I write the area engineer and say, we would like you to consider, because that light at IT Neely is probably still 18 months out. If I were betting, it takes a long time. They're still in the design phase. So again, but yes, both of those are text dot where we're really lobbying them, and then they'll tell us if there is a cost associated. They will probably put that on us for that second turn lane off of McMakin. So I'd bring that to y'all if it ended up being something out of budget.
That's the case. That's just striping. Signage.
I think it will
Yeah.
be. The
Yeah.
intersection looks wide enough that it would just likely be the striping of it.
Just move more traffic.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And then East Jeter, West Jeter directional, I was thinking if you stop there at Gibbons and you have a West Jeter and an East Jeter, that may help FedEx and UPS and some of those people that get lost constantly out here. So they know where West Jeter and East Jeter, where the divider is and where one starts and stops. Same thing if you're westbound on East Jeter, you can see a sign that says westbound, an arrow sign at that stop sign that says West Jeter straight ahead. Same thing eastbound on West Jeter there at the stop sign. It's just directional signs for people they get constantly lost.
So we're talking
You're
about
on the south side of that intersection.
Mhm.
Right there.
Yeah, where you
So
stop.
you'd
Yep.
be looking right at it.
West Jeter, East Jeter.
Yeah. that's a
Yep.
good idea.
you're talking about three sets of signs. So
Uh-huh.
look right there, and then one going east-west saying
Straight ahead,
straight ahead.
West
All right.
Jeter, straight ahead, East Jeter.
Would you attach those to like existing sign posts?
I don't know yet. We're going to work on the design of it. The mayor and I I'll have her look at it.
If it's
On
doable
those,
to attach to existing signpost, I would probably suggest that, just so we're not adding
Yeah,
more
there's-
signposts to the ditch.
we're not getting to me. We'll
To mow around.
Yeah,
You
we'll
need to
look at that.
Yeah.
more
I'll
to
ask
be
the
determined.
engineer about that too. You certainly don't want to, I don't think you can attach anything to stop signs, so I don't know. There is another sign there in that ditch on Steve Harris's bar ditch, I think.
Yeah.
Do not pass.
Yeah.
Isn't there a yellow, isn't there an arrow?
Yeah,
so.
there's.
The big
there's a
yellow
curve
arrows at
sign,
the end of
curve
Gibbons.
We can just take that up. No, we'll take that up to West Jeter, and East Jeter.
Oh, we need
So
a
you-
curve sign.
But it really is confusing for a lot of people. The
Yeah.
Gibbons is the split between those
Yeah.
two, and they wander around and they call town hall, and I don't know where you are.
Yeah.
I think I'm back
Yeah.
in Argyle.
This was an after thought of the last road committee meeting that we had. The civil citizens asked about when you come off of 407 of not being able to know where Jeter Road is, that little sign that's up there in that corner. It's not noticeable. I didn't notice it until I went and drove back up there and looked at it. And there, right when you come out of Louisville, there's nothing there except that little sign up on top that says Jeter. And a lot of times people drive by that going to Lantana, turn around and come back, or Saddlebrook to find Jeter. So I'm just saying that
Have
that's
to-
something that we might think about in the future.
Yeah, we can put that on another agenda and discuss that.
Yeah.
Certainly. Thank you for that, Clay. And then the speed limit signs, we've talked about that before, but I think we wanted to go ahead and do the ordinance for those all new subdivisions, 25 miles an hour.
That was discussed, the discussion again, Hudson Hills and
Deer
Deer Hollow had already been
Same
done.
as Saddlebrook, same as Hat Creek.
Yes.
They're all flowing through Saddlebrook.
Eagle Ridge,
anyway.
that's fine.
Might as well just keep it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Saddlebrook's already 25, so.
Any questions or concerns? or-
Going forward, I think we had discussion as well, going forward on any developments that are not already there, will they automatically revert to the 25 mph?
We have to pass an ordinance.
Yeah, for each
Okay.
one. Each one.
And I have a question because right down at the end of Dove Creek, when you see a sign down there, it says 30 miles an hour citywide. So has that ever been a problem when somebody gets stopped in a 25-mile-an-hour zone to say, well, this sign down there says 30 miles an hour citywide?
I haven't personally heard any problems with it. I know, I think we kind of talked about that because there was some confusion with some people because they're like, well, does that mean it's 30 and Saddlebrook, but it hasn't been an issue. I mean, in regards to the course.
So,
In driver's school, they always teach you it's the posted speed limit,
Right,
whatever
yeah.
that is. So
so we might need to put that on another agenda, but I think that's a good question.
Just in Ed talking in my ear, I was about to say, we have it on McMakin as well, all our major entry points, and I think we may want to consider taking those
That's
off.
what I was thinking too. So we could put that on another
Yes, ma'am.
agenda and talk about that. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
good point.
I imagine the ordinance that developments going forward would have the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit is something we need to put on an agenda item for November, or is that already part of it?
Well, Ed, we're looking for direction for Ed to draft the ordinance. So if that's council direction, is that right, Ed?
Yeah,
It has to be done individually per
Hollow is the one that I see we haven't done yet.
Deer Hollow.
Deer Hollow is the only one. Those other two, I was going through and I finally found my notes.
Okay.
Y'all have already done Eagle Ridge and Hudson Hills.
What we have, yeah.
Yes. Deer Hollow is the only one. Trifecta was done a long time ago.
Can you also say moving forward, or do we have to take each one individually if there's another one?
We need to do them each.
Okay, okay.
Under state law.
Okay.
It's a presumption.
All right,
For each particular road or set of roads, specifically.
okay.
And we can bring that forward at the same time we're doing the plating and everything else as they're working through that process, going P and Z and council. We'll just load that in.
So we can do that moving forward.
Yeah.
Do you have a motion?
make a motion to approve the recommendations from the traffic committee as presented.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Number 3, discuss and consider rescheduling November 21st, 2023 council meeting to November the 14th. Anybody?
Just brought it because it's 2 days before Thanksgiving and I don't know if y'all travel. So again, usually when it falls within that week, we bring it for council for y'all to decide if you're going to have a quorum
You're
or
going to
not.
be out of town.
I'm here on 21st. I'm going on 14th.
Okay. Is everybody else going to be here on the 14th?
I should be.
I'm gonna be out of town the 9th through the 12th. So I should be back,
Okay.
but you never know what happens.
Okay, so three to probably 4 of you will be here. Okay, hopefully.
And this year I will be here for the Thanksgiving week this year.
So do we need, Ed, is that 4 for a special?
We need 4 for a special.
For it to change to the 14th? Yes.
Is
you'll need
so this
4.
is a special?
This would be considered a special because it's not your standard date. So
Right.
again, it's the 21st works better and we only need 3 on that one. then-
I'd be here the 21st.
Be
Margie,
here the 21st.
21st.
Okay.
Y'all want to go ahead and do, that's 2 days?
Just leave it the way that it is then, right?
Okay,
Yeah, just leave.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, who's gonna be here on the 21st?
Sounds like all.
Okay.
Okay, that's the night we're gonna keep it. I just needed to make sure, because we're bringing a P and Z case, zoning case to the next council meeting. And we have 2 of you that need to
Right.
recuse themselves, so. I wanna
Plain, I
make
have to
sure
The rest of us have to be here, yeah.
have to have
Yeah.
3.
Well, it wouldn't have worked on the 14th anyways, if you're gonna be gone that week, so 21st seems like it's reasonable to stay there.
That's all right.
Then we don't need any action.
Nope. Okay.
No action.
Okay. Closed session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, the town council will meet in closed executive session in accordance with the Texas Government Code. Number one, section 551.074, personal matters to deliberate and consider appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline or dismissal of public officer or employee, to wit, chief of police. Time being 7:15, we're convened into closed session. We usually change it. We always.
Chief, good to see you. Oh, I didn't bring you earlier.
Looking good, right?
Fancy.
Great.
They're not, yeah, not. No, they're gonna approve the job posting or whatever. Or they're gonna talk about. No.
Help into this session, but we're just talking ready to get off. Yeah. Right here. More than anybody out here to the table. Sure, we've already had it. We've already good. Thank you.
For coming. Appreciate it.
Well, I got to stay for the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
That's what's on. Vote took one. And still like one sign. He showed up.
That's true, that's my favorite scheme.
When you just go throw it out.
Just drive and drill.
Yeah. Drop it out.
Don't take up any of our signs.
No, you should. Where?
Readers. This one back here, like on the property where like the four-way stop is. Like the Kroger sign would be a perfect spot. I just don't know if that's.
Unless some of this houses. That's a game.
I don't know. You ain't gonna make any call.
Dude, there's some out there like a power wash that I go by. I drove up there like a 407. I think it was like 407 and 8. Yeah, there's all those up there because they have all those postings. Like when you're coming towards Tractor Supply.
We have one tracker supply.
Oh, okay. So that's what the barn band wants.
Yeah, we figured that was in like wherever the county.
The burn is.
We didn't.
I would say it's like a political sign, so it's not like you're just like looking for a business. I don't see like. Is there?
Yes. No.
Well, they tell us like if someone's been on like. Listen.
Town.
Town, we have to over like cross reference text out in town.
Someone complained. They're like, who's that?
Just be like, oh, I don't know who the body.
We were driving about.
No. I'll just get one in the yard.
Like.
No.
Somebody put it directly at the end of his driveway.
So can you take up any citizen that didn't count, or does it have to be these?
Citizens.
So Justin is gonna be his. I would put him anywhere. I mean, I don't think no one's gonna pull him off.
I was still cold from last night.
I think
Oh, about that.
We're at all 11.
Where?
We're on fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad we did.
I think we over. Yeah, he was very happy. And ironically, he wants, he found he was. I think they're working with people around the school that we took, yeah. We got some money, $9,000, coming in, sometimes we want to do something.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I was spending no time researching this now. When I go look at these other towns, what their tax rate is, and they have a fire department, and you look at these other towns that have a higher tax rate than them, they don't have a fire department. Probably don't have that conversation. Their taxes are higher here than they are over there, and you don't have the same services.
Yeah, really double. Volunteers never answer. And all it does is why I'm not even gonna do Hunter's got like a part-time for this. Like, yeah, for they do like 12 or something like that. It's weird because of the county. It's like not just a year, but they're like, then like 8 to 5 and then like 1 to 12 that night in county.
For the longest time, I've worked in the cheaters over here. I think there was, don't have night coverage yet.
Yeah.
And I heard much up to the cops, I was
Yeah. You're good. Trust me. Like going like probably not. Yeah.
The guy when they take over the man, his car got stolen, he was the man forward.
Oh, yeah. You're still do that. Yeah, you're like, oh, you're not using my thing. Hold it off. You didn't have a hand. You go. Yes, I trust me. I do. Okay, yeah, go, yeah.
we ran many wrecks and calls within my town. And the county comes out, and then the county pushed off anything like speed related to the highway patrol. So like DWIs, traffic stop, or traffic accidents. Highway patrol.
Yeah. Yeah, we had. Last time.
Long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much, you ever get stopped by highway patrol for DUI, they're going to get you.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Right, those guys are full blown experts. They're like,
Yeah, they don't care.
they're like, turn your lights off, turn this around, come over here, stand right here, they say this backwards.
Yeah, they know what to do.
I'm vicious.
Yeah, we had 13 instances, I think, last one, with the county. Like, that's a lot. I think that's what they want. So they don't over there.
So y'all go. And back up, down, that's the right.
Yeah. See, like,
Yeah, kiddo.
yeah.
Yeah, there.
Archie,
Yeah, pretty much they. It's like they scratch our backs and they scratch theirs kind of or. About for us and they.
We're running.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, that's the thing, that's what they have to stop. So,
You're reaching out to. Which, I don't know why. Obviously, they have a contract with fire right now, and obviously trying to get into the queue. Why couldn't they do the same thing? Why couldn't they? What do you think here they would, I mean, they paid Bartonville enough to afford additional salaries for.
So they- Those kind of talk things, didn't have, I'm not sure. So.
I mean, I don't understand. I know we're gonna take a couple of years trying to bring something. And so it means that we're one more town. I mean. I'm trash. I mean. You might take, like, get with part of them, come through, create a reason.
So, I think it's all. Well, that's what like. Savannah and. Where else is up that way? They did that way, like the water industry or police or something, right?
I don't know how that works. We even think about it. We Bartonville pays for parties.
Bartonville, the citizens.
Right.
You know, imagine Bartonville when they had their own fire. They paid $160, you know, whatever, so remind you, so but they're only paying a small portion of it. And they don't need another, you know, assistant or a training or what they are, option or whatever, that can be all kind of absorbed in one. One jail, I mean, what happens in the jail and see, but all the record keeping would be extremely. The economy scale, but I don't know. I think what happens is like really complicated. They got up and they will become, you know, somebody will do it. I mean, that's the new thing. That's going to be something. That's what the problem is.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's better so much. The city we created them. We build what we.
Yeah.
So we could look at that and try to do. Yeah, we just get it restored from.
Yeah. So we all are gonna have the ambulance.
Yeah, we'll definitely one. That's I think it's challenging. You look at our report, one of the biggest things I tried was I went from years ago, concurrent calls. How many calls we have in this?
Oh, right. So like,
It's like 30% each group. Which means,
mutual aid and something.
yes, which I tell you, like, a lot of that has to do with most of the calls are English.
Right.
We only have 2 English. And so they got a transport, we have an officer there, we have to either get in the farm, break down. And so when the meals are done, we can recall, basically, very good time. Probably have anything.
Yeah.
So it definitely is an indicator, that's the whole point, to do that, to let these things, and how we're doing and where our needs are, kind of make decisions about how, you know. I put our training out, we'll get that on the and things like that, we kind of see how we can use it, community out. We just kind of get into the culture of work out, see about.
Right.
And yeah, that one concurrent, I saw that first one.
That's big. 30%.
Yeah, which is weird, and it's something unusual about it, but they do get a lot of back. 12 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, no, so it's.
Yeah.
All over.
Yeah. I've heard that a few times. I was like, man, you know, we haven't had a call in a couple hours and all of a sudden like, man, we got like 5 calls in a month. You're like, all right.
That's insane.
Just the Carrollton fire, was that EMSC?
Yeah, we did even. Most of the metroplex, except for Cherry County, and it's kind of doing that way, the Dallas County side of the metroplex. Has always been kind of pro, they call fire racing for the environmental. Fort Worth is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But they're kind of getting in that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Arlington did and how they are, and so some of the Cherry counties. Whenever the babies are 5 days.
Right.
Basically,
So Arlington's going fire now? Is that just the AMR?
yes, Baker Road will actually working for the Paramount. I don't know, full blown, and you do a hybrid up there.
Right.
Something. And so that's why I tell people, well, you know, it doesn't have, there are other options, it won't be what you're getting with it.
Yeah.
So, what do you want? You can make it happen, you just, you know, a lot of service.
Yeah, especially that's.
If that was the night, you know.
Well, the bad thing with those ones, because y'all have paramedics in one of those engines, right? So.
Yeah, already the permission between the care city and that's why it's between.
Right.
And we don't have, you know, there's a few things we have to do.
Like narcotics and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's certain things, but actually in the cars, we can, but there are some tools maybe we don't have. We don't have any, just that having fun.
Yeah.
But. So there are some things we can. But for the basics,
Right.
we try to get that to make very sure we can, and we're gonna initiate and start here.
Right. Yeah, because some of those, like, they are, you know, they just basic, like, they're just, if they got how many teams? It's- Yeah, but I hear it's, you have to have that. Yeah.
What we're doing in the. And that's the other, I mean, that off, when I sell, I think, or most of them, I mean, similar.
So you just use it yourself.
You know, we can, and we'll do it. Right, it's also, we can probably. We were allowed to, but only in your. So it's kind of first come, first served, so in the county where it wasn't, like, Norfolk already has. Capped out their sales tax.
Oh, I see.
So like, we could go to North and pay on the sales tax.
Right,
They're already capped it out.
yeah.
It's only areas that did in the county where they didn't have stuff.
Oh, okay, I see.
Petition, just like where the election, well, brings some certain quarter, you know, pursue.
Yeah.
Stuff like.
Or pay or-
Some of us need to do it, but, you know, considering we have a lot of those and. You know, you're gonna get some Amazon, which is some, but it's not like you get commercial, much commercial.
Yeah.
And as much retail, let's say, I pay the urban areas. so
Right.
Is it worth it? Plus, the county, you know, like either community approaching on their ability,
Right,
because there's a county area that we get sales tax from, and later that standing to another county or whatever, I mean, they can't get the sales tax that we are including.
oh,
So it's kind of, you know, this economy.
Right.
So we just thought that talking to everybody in a similar situation, and say. The bank is going to be like, kind of mentioned.
yeah.
I'll do it.
All right, see you. Everyone. It was, that wasn't that. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Time being 7:32, reconvene into open session. Do I have a motion?
I move to authorize the town administrator to enter into an agreement with the search firm for search services to assist the town in filling the chief of police vacancy in the amount not to exceed $13,000.
Second? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, council.
All right, who seconded?
I did.
Thank you.
Are there any future agenda items?
And take the traffic stuff that we mentioned during the.
There will be a future item for, you don't need to mention it, we will have it on there for November for speed limits. And then again, what the future, no, we're not gonna do the future ones.
The citywide.
Citywide signage,
Yeah,
yes.
citywide,
We also will have the public hearing for
Rockwell property.
the one section of the Rockwall property, it's called Knights Landing.
Mhm.
So you'll have a rezone item come to you for public hearing at that November meeting, as well as. What's the other one? Shannon, help me. Fence ordinance. The fence ordinance will also come to you as a public hearing at the November meeting. So we finally are getting that one across the line. So we do know those two items.
Time being 7:34, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
I'll take 7:30.
I know, record.
You gotta get home, busy time tonight.